Before it became America's most popular park, Great Smoky Mountains National Park was home to a group of hardworking settlers. This 50-mile route explores homestead ruins and several Great Smoky viewpoints.
Hi, this is Marcus Wolf. I'm at Great Smoky Mountain National Park, and what I'm here to do is really kind of follow some of the history of this park. Unlike a lot of other national parks, before this was designated 75 years ago, it wasn't just a wild area that was uninhabited. People farmed here, people made moonshine here, and when they designated this as a national park, a lot of those settlers actually had to move out.
Begin this 6-day trip at Alum Cave Trailhead and ascend to a weathered bluff.
All right, I've reached the Alum Bluff Cave, really a big overhang, and I put my pack down there to provide a little perspective.
After 4.8 miles, reach Mount LeConte at 6,593 feet.
All right, I have reached the Mount LeConte Lodge. It's hazy in the distance, but it's a good view.
Spend the night at the lodge or the nearby shelter. The next day, hike above 5,500 feet on the Boulevard Trail to the Appalachian Trail. Then swing northeast and trek to a treeless knob.
Just off the Appalachian Trail is a rock outcrop called Charlie's Bunion, and it offers probably one of the best views in the park.
Trace the AT over 2 gaps to another treeless high point.
Just an awesome view from Laurel Top. Have the mist hanging in the mountains over there, and then this really amazing view with mountains just going to the horizon.
In 2.6 miles, turn right onto Hughes Ridge Trail and drop to Peck's Corner Shelter. It's an easy 5.6 miles on day 3. Straddle the Tennessee-North Carolina border, cross Mount Sequoia and Chapman, then end at Tri-Corner Knob Shelter. Day 4 has its ups and downs. Climb, drop, then climb again to the Snake Den Ridge Trail. Just below Snake Den Mountain sits Cosby Campground, a now forested site which once thrived with homesteads and farms. Marcus Wolf interviewed grandchildren of these former homesteaders.
Well, this is the foundation of the old Apple House. The original house sat just beyond it, up on this small hill, and the kitchen wing ran back over here to where I'm pointing, and the orchard extended up on the hill behind us.
Well, they started with the early June apple. You asked me before when they harvested, and that was the early apple, and then they had Milums, Rusty Coat, Sire Johns. The new apples at that time were the Red Delicious and the yellows, and they had some of those, and I'm sure there's more.
The second half of day 4 connects to the Madron Bald Trail and leads to its self-named summit.
It's almost so hazy you can't even see this line of ridges in front of me, but it's a really nice view.
Now descend 600 feet to campsite 29 near Otter Creek.
So this is campsite 29, and we've got that big draw in front of us to the west.
Skip over to a grove of giant trees on day 5.
I'm now passing through Albright Grove, and this is old growth forest, and there are some really big trees in here, including one that's supposed to be about 25 feet around.
Ahead, turn left onto the Old Settlers Trail.
I saw a faint side trail off of the Old Settlers Trail and came down to investigate, and it is an old cemetery. Here's one faint marker that says 1877, and Madron is the name.
Continue to walk back in time on the Old Settlers Trail, passing several stone walls, then onto the McCarter Barn, a good lunch spot.
I've taken a side trail a few hundred feet to the north of the Old Settlers Trail to the Tyson McCarter place. It's an old barn that they think was built around 1876.
It's 6.1 miles to the last night's camp and the old home site of Perry Ramsey, who lived in the park till 1930.
Well, I've reached campsite 33, and as soon as I finish unpacking, I'm going to walk back up the trail a few yards to see remnants of an old home site. I saw a fireplace or old chimney just back up the way, just off the trail.
The last day climbs over Copeland Divide and ends 6.4 miles later at Greenbrier Cove.
I'm here in Greenbrier Cove, and I'm going to be meeting with Glenn Cardwell, whose family made moonshine and sold it in the community that was here.
When this became a national park, that didn't mean the moonshiners closed the business down. They just, there's plenty of laurel thickets, and when the trees began to grow, it made it more harmonious. Just go and hide behind some of the trees that were growing. You had to be somewhere close to water, and heavens knows the Smokies is the land of moving water. You could find plenty of good places to build a still.
That concludes a 50-mile tour of the Smokies, high ridges, and storied past. It's a 20-mile shuttle ride back to your car. To download maps, turn-by-turn directions, and more, visit backpacker.com/flythesmokies.